and I'm doing this review for knickknacknews.wordpress.com. It's a new site. You can get everything that you possibly want: sports, entertainment, wrestling, as we're doing now. And we're going to be previewing Fastlane 2006, which is going to be tomorrow night. This is the go-home show before WrestleMania 32 for WWE. This was formerly Elimination Chamber. They scrapped it, so now it's Fastlane. And this will be, we'll set up many of the angles we're going to have for WrestleMania 32. At least we'll get a clearer picture of everything. Most definitely, the following night on Raw will give us even more of a clear picture. But I don't really see too many big things happening in this pay-per-view or network special event. There is no more pay-per-views. Besides the main event, which we'll get to in a little while, it's pretty much going to be, most of it is going to be pretty much basic generic matches. And the main event will definitely give us a clear picture of what's going to happen in WrestleMania 32, at least. So let's get on the way. Kevin Owens and Ziggler, we've seen this transpire in the last few weeks on Raw. Ziggler's been getting cheap wins over Owens. Owens is frustrated. And last week, Stephanie McMahon put Ambrose in a fatal five-way match. And Owens came away with the win and the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, this was due to Ambrose needing to drop the title going into the main event at Fastlane and possibly WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe that's a little hint. But anyway, I think Owens will definitely get the win here. He's lost 2 in a row. They just gave him the title. I don't see him giving it back to Ziggler. It would make no sense. If anything, this will build Owens up going into WrestleMania 32 and further. Next, we have a 6-man tag with the Ryback, the Big Show, and Kane versus the Wyatts with Braun Strowman, Harper, and Rowan. And Bray Wyatt's going to be ringside. Of course, he never wrestles. He just cuts promos and then loses big matches at pay-per-views. You know, this is the MO. Anyway, this is going to be a throwaway match. It's going to be short, quick, slugfest. Everybody's going to get involved, and possibly Wyatt will do something to cause the Wyatts to gain the victory. But I don't expect much of this. This is probably going to be less than 5 minutes. For the ladies, the Divas division, we have a tag team match: Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Naomi and Tamina. We've seen a little friction between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in recent weeks. Clearly, they're setting Sasha Banks up as to be the face of the Divas division. She's the most over diva with the fans. This is another throwaway match. Becky Lynch and Sasha will win this, and maybe there'll be a little friction again. It's really just very predictable. Then they'll have another Divas match, which will be Brie Bella versus Charlotte with Ric Flair, her father, at ringside. And we saw the last couple of weeks, Brie's husband, Daniel Bryan, retired in an emotional segment on Raw. I think WWE is going to try and benefit from this, from the emotional fallout. You saw it on SmackDown. She held up the Divas title, was doing the yes chant. She did all of Daniel Bryan's moves. I really think she's possibly could. I think she probably will win the title. If you've been noticing, they've been hinting at a little dissension between Charlotte and Ric Flair. She's getting tired of him, of his antics. Probably Ric Flair caused her to lose the championship, and this will set up a match at WrestleMania between Brie as the Divas champion. They'll use her to promote the title and make appearances for WrestleMania, and it'll set up a multi-women's match with Brie, Sasha, Charlotte, and maybe Becky Lynch. And I think Sasha will probably get her title win at WrestleMania. Next, we have Kalisto against Alberto Del Rio. They've traded the U.S. title in the last month. I guess without John Cena, the U.S. title doesn't mean anything. It's supposed to enhance Kalisto, but if he loses every match on TV, what does it do? Anyway, this will be a 2 out of 3. I figure it'll go. They'll trade a fall each, and probably Kalisto will come away with the victory. I think. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Next, we have the co-main event, which is really good, I think. AJ Styles, who recently debuted in WWE. He's a WWE rookie, not a professional wrestler rookie. He's been wrestling for 16 years. They booked him strong. He won his debut match against Jericho, and then he lost last week to Jericho, setting up the rubber match on SmackDown. Jericho didn't want to face him. He didn't want to take the challenge. Styles forced his hand, so unbelievably, yeah. We'll have the rubber match, which I think this match could steal the show at this pay-per-view or special event. I really think they're trying to build AJ into a legitimate star. They keep teasing it. He's good, but is he great? So I think maybe they do have plans for him, but who knows? They might get the shovel out and bury him later on down the road. But Jericho, as he's been doing the last few years, he comes back to lose. People say it's jobbing. It's not jobbing. A performer of Chris Jericho's stature, he's not jobbing. It's called giving back to the business. He's giving back. A guy like Jericho's accomplished everything. So at this point in his career, there's nothing for him to accomplish more. It wouldn't benefit him by winning. So he loses it or puts over the young talent or somebody who needs it. So now, getting to the main event. At the Royal Rumble, we saw Triple H. He came out and he won the WWE Championship, screwing Roman Reigns again. And this set up the main event for this Fastlane 2016. We'll have the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who's been screwed out of the title for the last year, going back to WrestleMania 31, and Roman Reigns and his little brother, Dean Ambrose. If you've been watching and paying attention to these little tidbits, the storyline is they're trying to create dissension between Roman Reigns and Ambrose. It's your typical two baby faces. Somebody's got to turn bad. As Jesse Ventura would say, McMahon, there's no friends in wrestling. Not when the championship's at stake. Of course, I mean, it would make sense. It would be good for a fan's perspective for them to make Reigns a heel. I mean, he doesn't get a consistent positive reaction from the fans every week. Unlike Ambrose, who gets a huge pop every time. Every time he gets a huge pop. But here's that they're stuck in a quagmire, because if they turn Ambrose heel, it'll probably only make the fans cheer louder. I mean, we saw this at the Rumble this past month. The fans were cheering for Triple H over Reigns, and Triple H is supposed to be top heel. That's the evil guy, and Reigns is supposed to be the hero. So once again, they always push themselves in a corner. So I mean, I can't. If Reigns wins this, that'll set him up to main event at WrestleMania 32 against Triple H. And it's predictable that he's going to win the title again and have his WrestleMania moment. I really think the fans are really going to have a negative reaction if he wins this main event here at Fastlane. especially with Brock Lesnar and Ambrose, you would think somehow maybe Ambrose luckily or finds a way to win this match and go into WrestleMania. And that, what about Brock Lesnar? Where does that leave him? There's a rumors are that the Wyatts are going to interfere with him again and screw him over. If you notice, they haven't had any interaction with Lesnar and the Wyatts since the Rumble, which maybe gives you a hint. But I don't know. The main event at WrestleMania 32 seems too black and white right now. And, of course, WWE's been known to change things up. Even last year at WrestleMania 31, they didn't decide for Rollins to cash in until reportedly hours before the show. So anything can happen, but we're gonna see a clearer picture of what's gonna happen. They have decisions to make. Do they keep forcing the square peg into the circle with Reigns and keep pushing him? Do they go to Plan B and strap the Rocket to Ambrose's back and let him go all the way to WrestleMania? Or do we get maybe what Vince McMahon wants in his WrestleMania main events? He wants the biggest names, the Irresistible Force versus the Immovable Object. He wants maybe Triple H and Brock Lesnar to main event, two big names. I don't know. Anything can happen. But it will be interesting, and we'll get more answers on Raw. Once again, I'm Frank from Talk Wrestling with Jimmy and Frank. Jimmy's not here right now. This is a little solo thing. I did this for Nick Durst, who started his webpage, knickknacknews.wordpress.com. And you can see this video on YouTube, on my channel, Frank T. We'll see what happens. I mean, it should the last two the main events, the co-main events should be a seller for this pay-per-view at least. We'll see, and I'll probably see you Monday night when we have another episode of Talk Wrestling with Jimmy Frank, Fastlane review, and WrestleMania 32 predictions. Have a good night. Enjoy.